Hi guys, Jamie McCabe here with Special Needs Living, and I am here today with James Munder, who is with Northwestern Mutual, and we are very excited to have him as a supporter of the Special Needs Living magazine. James, I'm going to let you take it away real quickly and just share with everyone in the special needs community a little bit more about yourself, your story, how you got started with Northwestern Mutual.
Sure, absolutely. Happy to. So yeah, excited to be on board, I guess. And so yeah, a little backstory on me. I run the Munder Financial Group. Obviously, I had the team. It's a group of 6 people, and we run a wealth management practice here in the Indianapolis area. And I would say that probably a little over 50% of our time is spent on planning for families with special needs. What I enjoy most about what I do on a daily basis, honestly, is just educating people. I find that, honestly, whether it's families with special needs or not, I find that there's a lot of uncertainty and uncomfortability around finances, just especially in today's environment. How much should we be saving? What's the right way to approach our goals? What's the most efficient way to do it? How do taxes come into play? What government benefits are we able to tie into? And so more than anything, I just enjoy being a resource for people in that regard and helping their families and helping make the right financial decisions for them and their loved ones.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
What would you say? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, what would you say separates you from your competition?
Ooh, that's tough. I would say more than anything, I mean, I guess I'm a little biased, but I feel like we tend to look through the financial planning scope in a little bit different of a view than most. I think, what I would say more than anything is that we have a very others approach when working with families, getting to understand where they're at, what struggles they're dealing with, and coming up with the most efficient plan that we can to achieve the overall goal or strategy for what they want to have happen. It's a lot of just learning. I would say, what I love the most about it and what separates me is probably kind of the same thing, because I love spending so much time with people and just understanding their environment to see where we might be able to impact or where we might be able to help their overall plan. And I'd say more than anything, we have an emphasis of making sure that everything is streamlined for the families, right? We know that not everything is the same. It cannot be, same cookie cutter approach for every single family we're working with. It's kind of like different strokes for different folks. Everything has to be a customized, tailored plan. And I find that in our world or in the financial world in general, that's a little different.
Absolutely. That makes perfect sense. I love that you take such a custom approach and really dig in to get to know a family and what ultimately would help them and navigate through the world in the way that they would see fit. In the best means necessary. And I just love that you have a passion to really dig in and spend that quality time getting to know people and building that relationship and really figuring out what matters and what truly is important and helping to offer different things that can help them through that process. That's what service is. That's what care really is.
Definitely.
Which I love. What advice would you say that you have for anyone that is looking to learn more about investing for themselves or for their special needs child?
I would say one piece of advice I could give someone. I mean, education is key, right? Understanding what options you have through government benefits and elsewhere is extremely important. But honestly, the one piece of advice I would give everyone is to just start. I find in my little over 15 years of doing this now as a wealth management advisor that most people want to do the right things financially. They're terrified of doing the wrong thing, so they do nothing.
Yeah.
Which in reality is the wrong thing to do, right? So I would just urge anyone that listens to this or that thinks through their finances, what's the right step? We'll never know because there's so many variables in life that end up getting thrown our way, curveballs that we have to deal with, family situations, work situations. So I always tell people, just start. Get yourself, it's almost like, I equate it very often to going to the gym, where it's a lot easier to go to the gym if you just be built the habit of doing it. Finances are the same way. Like, how do we build your world around, hey, this is just what life looks like, And as time goes on, you can expand that planning, you can increase savings, you can change things, you can tweak things. Nothing's ever written in blood where we can never get out of it. It's more of just people just need to start doing something, because the one thing that we know in the financial world is people do not save enough money. The planning that we run into, especially on the special needs side, is there are a ton of holes that at least we run into. So I would just tell people, do something, and keep getting educated along the way, but at least get the inertia moving in the right direction, if that makes sense.
Yeah, start that conversation, reach out, explore the options, and kind of see what makes
Yes.
the most sense. And you're so right there. Like the fear of the inevitable, when you don't know things, like you just choose not to do anything. You kind of just freeze up and you're like, well, we're not going to really navigate down this path yet because we're not ready, because you have to wait for everything to be perfect, right? Like it's almost sometimes like having kids. So you're like, I want everything, my finances to be perfect. I want to have the right house. I want to have this. I want to have that. And then, you can't always plan everything to a T, as we know, especially in the special needs community. You have a plan, you have a vision, you think things are going to go a certain way, and we know that life has a way of navigating you in different directions. So just really having that plan, and having that conversation to explore those options are really, really key.
Yeah, I think that, and if I can pigtail or dovetail off that,
Yeah.
what I would tell you is that I think human nature, when we get overwhelmed by things, and finances, I would say, is one topic or subject that most people get overwhelmed by. I think human nature is to shut down. I know that if I get flooded with information on a certain subject, sometimes I'm just like, hey, I can't deal with this right now. I got enough going on over here, enough going on over here. And when people shut down in the financial end, which a lot of times I run into these families that have shut down, so to speak, it's hard to get you opened back up, but definitely just being, more than anything, open to the conversation and understanding where you can learn and start, again, to move in that direction.
Yeah, I love that. And you're just creating that space for people to be able to come and share and explore and have ideas and, kind of see what the options are. Talking about some things, tell us something about you.
Well, where do I start? I was born and raised in Chicago. Met my wife at Indiana University, and then we moved from Chicago down here to Indianapolis, and have been here for quite some time now. We have 2 kids. Sorry. We have 2 children, but one thing that's a little bit more unique about me is that I grew up. I'm actually fully fluent in American Sign Language.
Oh, that's
My older brother, who's 18 months older than me, is fully deaf. So he became, at 2 years old, he went into a coma, came out and totally healthy. He just had no hearing. So my entire family, who had no history of individuals who were deaf or any exposure to that community, had to kind of pick up on that. So I actually signed before I spoke.
wow. Goodness.
So still very close to my brother. But yeah, that's kind of a unique thing that most people don't know.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely incredible that you have that skill. And I just can't even imagine going through that experience, for your parents, for you, for your brother. That would be really hard to navigate through.
We've all got our challenges, right? So
Yeah, and now being able to have that gift and being able to communicate, with those that can't hear in that way. Not everybody has that ability to do that. So that's pretty special. Thanks for sharing.
very true.
If someone's interested and has questions and wants to learn more, what's the really good way for them to reach out or to contact you?
As I kind of mentioned earlier, right, everything we do is pretty tailored. So I do find that sometimes people email me questions randomly, and it's very, very difficult for me to give you a knee-jerk response, because it's, like I said, kind of a case-by-case basis. You guys, anyone who's listened to this, who's heard anyone in finance talk, it's always like, well, it could work in this situation, it could work in that situation. So what I would say is the most efficient way to, if you do have questions or do want to follow up, email me or give me a call, and me and my team will set up time where we can do a free one-on-one consultation and just talk. I will say the initial conversation is just, it's almost like a first date. We're trying to figure out where we go with this, and if we ever talk again, or does it make sense, or are we in a position to even have the conversation? And if we do, great, we can go down that road. So I would say, you can email me. My email address is james.munder, MUNDER, @nm.com, nancymary.com. Or you can always call my office, which is 317-238 6621.
Fantastic. I'll include all that information as well in this post so everyone has it and can reach out directly if they have any questions. And I really appreciate you taking out some time just to share with us a little bit more about yourself and about Northwestern Mutual. And I really appreciate your support within Special Needs Living Magazine. Without you and the other supporters, what we're doing would not be possible to be able to get out to families to impact and inspire and connect. So thank you again for your support. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.